Now it's your turn.
All right. Welcome to Improvement and Services Committee for Wednesday, February 28th. We will have a roll call. Everyone's present. Alder Steuer, I'm here. Alder Weary. Alder Eck.
Yes.
And Alder Campbell. We're all here. Approval of the agenda. I'd like to make one change here. Yes. Number one, the person who is going to be there can't be here for another 20 minutes, so I'd like to move that down. And I don't know, I don't want to put him, can I do it so that when he shows that we can bring that point up?
Yes.
Okay, we'll wait till he shows, and I don't know what number, do I have to say a number?
No.
Okay, we'll just,
We can reconsider.
I'll second it.
okay.
So
Sounds good.
just do it, I don't even know if she's.
That's fine, okay, thank you. That's all I have, so any other
Motion to approve the agenda
as amended?
as amended.
Okay, by Eck, do we have a second?
Second.
By,
Her face eating.
who's not eating here? Okay, by
Me.
Campbell.
We just don't sit around all day.
Okay, yeah, no. I was
ate
working
them
today.
just before
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, okay. The approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Eck,
Second.
second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously.
Kim.
So we'll go to number 2 right away.
Okay.
Regular business, consideration with possible action on a request by Green Bay Parking Division on charging for funeral meter hooding services. You like that word.
It's just
hooding.
interesting.
All right. Director?
We have provided for you in the packet an inter-office memo prepared by Chris Trillett, parking manager, that discusses a longtime practice of the parking division to provide meter hoods at no charge for funerals. This has become a more frequent occurrence for us, and where the meters are located are high demand, high occupancy meters. So we're estimating that parking division is losing about $2,500 in revenue annually through the use of these meters, the meter hoods. And what it involves is staff has to physically go out on the site, slip a hood over the meter that says it's reserved parking and not in service for that particular time. Then after the event is complete, go out and then physically remove the meter hoods and put those back into storage. During the time that they're doing that, their regular duties are not being taken care of. So it is an impact to parking operations. So generally speaking, on demand, when meter hoods are requested, our standard is $10 a day for a meter hood. So we're simply asking to have that authority to go out and charge the $10 a day for meter hoods for funerals in addition to every other
That's per
hood per day.
hood, so $10 per day.
Correct. So if you
And
live
the cost
three,
will go to who?
it goes to the petitioner.
Okay.
Church.
Okay.
Yeah, the church or the funeral home, whoever. But
Okay, well,
and
that
if
I mean,
it's a
list
funeral home, I'm sure it's
churches.
passed
might
on
be the
to
cost of doing
family,
business, I
unfortunately.
guess.
But there's a
I'm sorry, go
cost.
ahead, I interrupted.
And this program, just an FYI, it's just summarized in the report. It's been going on for long before I've been with the city. And it's great to be philanthropic to people, but parking, as we all know, it's a standalone revenue generating entity of the city. And needs to generate revenue in order to survive, so to speak, financially. And at $2,500 estimate is really only based on, right now, St. Willibrod's is using it quite a bit. In the past, Francis Xavier Cathedral has used it a lot, but really hasn't used it in the last couple of years,
Yeah, I was trying
real
to
much.
think.
And then there's a couple churches along Madison Street
Okay.
that have used it hit and miss. And then the, I forgot the name of the church, over in the old Bay Lake Bank building there.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So those are the 5 churches in the downtown area that are within a metered parking zone that would be affected.
Okay. Oh, Alder Eck.
And I'm trying to see, are there a approximate number of meters that they ask you to hood each time? I don't know. into?
I think it's about 10 meters in front of St. Wilbrod's, or adjacent to St. Wilbrod's. And typically it's for the hearse and family vehicles because they typically do a what do they call it, witness burial where they have the procession right after mass. And not all funerals they ask for, it just depends on how it's set up.
So, just an idea. Is it possible to have them have hoods that they put out and then just have someone from the church do it and then take it off? Or are you looking at the loss of revenue because
It's
they're
loss of
high?
revenue from the meters.
Yeah.
Both
Right.
loss of revenue, and we don't want other people out with hoods that
Yeah.
have the ability to hood the meter anytime they desire to do
Yeah.
so.
Nobody does that, right?
Well, these are churches, so,
Yeah,
sorry,
well,
but you know, it's something a little different. You hope they'd be,
Can you use our parking
Honest.
thing for that? We go to church there.
No,
No? I'm just wondering.
no.
oh boy, you're funny.
Keep going, Alderette, continue.
Just-
No, that's all. I was just thinking, you know, wait, because it's hard, you know, because it's church.
Well, go ahead.
Are they aware of this change? I mean, you
We
bounced it off
have
of them, or-
verbalized it to St. Wilbrod's, because they're the only one who's asked this year so far. That we're talking about it, of course, it's not approved, at least not yet, we're just talking about it here officially for the first time, you know, at the city level.
Well, the,
The bishops calling it.
Elder Stoyer.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Because the cathedral has parking. Maybe that's why they don't ask as much. Don't they have their own parking lot?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's been developed over the years. Parking division used to manage it for them, manage their rentals, they're all on their own now. But they had, in the past, rented, or have had meters hooded along Doty Street before that, and that was primarily before they improved their parking lot. You know, because there used to be a building there on the corner that they purchased and expanded the lot.
That's it, just us.
Okay. Just- Anybody else? Okay, I just gonna ask, how much, so it's $2,500 a year we're losing? How many years has this been going on?
Decades.
Yeah,
Decades.
longer than I've been with the
40s
city.
and Well, it says in here like since the 40s or 50s?
Yeah, that's my guess, looking back in records.
The rear is different too, but still. Okay.
Whose district is that?
It's downtown.
Galvin?
I would, I think
Johnson.
Johnson. All right, so you're asking right now, just for approval?
Correct.
Okay, staff, anybody, or committee? Anybody? Nobody has a thought here? Wow.
Go ahead, Mark.
Help me.
Who has anything to say?
Yeah,
About charging
I
churches?
would, yeah, you don't want to be, nobody wants to be the heavy on that. All right, $10 a day, I mean, that's just something you,
Per hood.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's a standard parking division policy.
okay.
So you let them know, I'm sorry.
I took
Well,
a
the
deep
where,
breath.
you don't want to
They're not
touch this?
here.
You already
No,
talked.
Take
no,
it back.
I would be, amenable to it if they were here and maybe could be part of the discussion. Maybe they'd say, you know what, yeah, we've had it for so long, we could work with that, but
Oh, I see.
I don't even know that, so I don't.
Were they aware of the meeting, I presume?
I did not
I
make
don't-
them aware of it, no.
I do not know that.
And if you notice in the report, I did not place or recommend any date of start.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, let's just say for the sake of discussion, it'd be approved by council next week. I would not want to say the next day.
Well, but you
Start
did,
doing
in the report,
But we did talk
in the,
about,
the conclusion of the report, Chris did indicate that if approved, it's preferred that no charge meter hooding be discontinued as soon as possible. However, the parking division is amenable to continuing this process through 2024, providing an opportunity to notify funeral homes and churches of the pending change, so to make it effective 1/1/25.
Okay. Well, that's, it's a
If
transition.
approved, it's preferred that the no-charge meter hooding program be
Yeah.
discontinued as soon as possible.
Well, That's a good thing, I think.
Can we put it on hold?
Did you want to hold that? I mean, it's not time sensitive, is it? Or is it?
No, this is the,
I mean, it's
the
just
current
the policy-
status that we're
the
operating under.
status,
We would like
right.
to change that to no longer continue that service, so we could have that at any time.
I think we better get a bigger committee room to open this up.
Well, I'm leaning on the committee to move forward on this some way. If you want to hold it, we can hold. Call the word.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Okay.
Well, on the motion, I gave you a motion.
All right.
I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I get it, but I just think the negative, this tradition for the grieving families and downtown, I don't think the monetary amount is worth ending that, so I get it, but that's where I'm going. That.
Okay.
That's
Do
fine.
is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
I say no.
Okay.
So, good.
Mark wants to hit those funeral grievers hard. No, I'm kidding.
I'm on the way out.
I'm
on
kidding.
the-
There you go.
I'm on
It's
the
a
way
valid
out.
discussion to have.
It is a good discussion. All right, well.
It
all
goes
in-
to full
Okay,
council.
so
Yeah,
we voted.
it'll probably be discussed next week, I'm sure.
And anything that here, it goes to council next Tuesday, so it's not finalized yet. All right, number 3, let's see. So I can get back to my, hold on, it's not working for me. Number 3, consideration with possible action on request by the Department of Public Works to modify previously approved professional services agreement for field inspection services on public construction contracts for 2024 from $200,000 to $700,000. And I know this is something you had talked about. it.
Correct.
Yeah.
In January, we brought forward a request to award construction services contract to private consultants to do construction inspection on our public works projects. At that time, based on contracts we let in 2023 and previous years, we were estimating that the value of that construction contract, or the consultant services contract, would be approximately $200,000. Subsequent to that meeting, we did get the final bids back from the consultants, and with price escalation and the number of hours that we're going to need, we are currently down 4 inspectors. So we have to supplement more than half of our staff to the outside. Again, because of price escalation and the number of hours due to lack of interior staff to do this, the cost has gone from $200,000 to $700,000. We do have the money in our construction budget to cover this. So it's not that we have to seek additional funding, but the contract that had been previously approved was limited at $200,000. So we do need council approval to go about that.
Alderette?
And I know you have the money in there, but we were actually kind of talking about this before. Is that, the amount of money that we haven't used for salt or plowing, is that something that can be put in the budget to be used for something else or rolled over to next year? How does that work? This just made me think of it like as something to be transferred into something else.
There's always a possibility to redirect some of the budgetary funds. This is actually paid for out of our bonded funds. Right now, and this is something I was going to cover, this whole item that I was going to cover in the director's report, but good segue into it. We do currently have a salt surplus, but we had to make those projections back in July and.
Back in March.
Back in March?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And once we made the commitment to the state for that purchase of that salt, we bought it. So I've already paid the state for the salt, whether I use it or not. The problem that we now face is I don't have room for it, so we probably have close to 6,000 tons.
Yeah, about 6,000
Anybody else
tons we
not
gotta
buying
store
enough?
through the summer.
Sitting
And
on the
we'll
docks
find space
on the
for
west
it.
side of the river, and what we're gonna have to do is pay storage with the company where the salt sits on the dock because there's too much to fit in our storage areas. So I didn't save any money on salt because I already purchased it, and as a matter of fact, we're looking down the barrel of tens of thousands of dollars in storage fees for it to sit on their docks because we don't have room for it. Now, I have been saving on overtime and have some savings in fuel, but
It's like
not
a shell
nearly
game.
enough.
But the
But,
salt will be
yeah.
there for next year.
Yeah, well, that's one of the nice things.
left?
And then we won't have to budget as much for next year.
Yeah,
but that
that'll
money
get
won't
taken
be
into
there to
account
spend
for
on
next year's
anything else,
budget.
it just won't be budgeted.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Iodized salt?
What's that?
Iodized salt?
No, no, you wouldn't want to use it. Makes awful dirty popcorn.
Did you say to eat? Everybody-
It was iodized. That's
Did you
question.
forecast a heavy winter? If I go
That
back,
was
do you remember?
every, that was every indication. we
Yeah, I
were
know.
getting.
Wow.
It
I
just
said I
did
think I
not
remember
pan
you
out this
saying
year.
it.
Yeah.
And we all went,
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still time.
It's perfect.
We knew that the National Weather Service and the federal government were predicting a
In cahoots.
El Nino winter, which
Yes.
is what we're seeing. But if we don't order enough salt and
Yeah.
something changes, we're in deep trouble. So we ordered the typical amount of salt to
I'd
be
rather you
safe.
be a little heavy than light, right?
Right,
Because if you don't order enough, you're out of luck for salt.
I mean, I forgot to close my window from yesterday's 70 degree, and when the plow went by this morning,
Oh,
it
no.
really woke me up.
You slept in your car?
I don't think I've seen a change like that in 2 days. But anyway, we appreciate the efforts because we know you do the best you can. You make predictions and you go for it.
When you say it's coming out of bonding, so that, or that it's bonded for, that's just like that whole not paying the overtime, just, I don't know, I guess I'm looking for, hey, is there a way to save and not have to use, you know, the.
well,
you say
we've
the
already
bonding.
approved the bond issue as well.
Yeah,
Right.
Wow.
we're
So-
committed.
We're committed, we're committed.
Move to approve.
Yeah, what else can we do?
Sorry.
Motion by Weary. Do
Hey, 500,000's a lot, but, okay.
Kicking
we have a
it down the
second?
road.
It is,
There's not
I
even
agree.
kicking it down the
I
road
think it's
here.
already
Well-
done, so.
Yeah,
It's already done. Do we have a second?
second.
Second by Campbell. Any other
I think.
discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 That passes unanimously. All right. Number 4, consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to approve the emergency sewer repair services agreement between the City of Green Bay and DeKaiser Construction and the City of Green Bay and DeGroot, Inc. for 2024. I like saying DeGroot.
You like that movie, Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah. All right, Director.
Every year, DPW is required to conduct emergency sewer repairs when necessary to ensure public health and safety. This work is budgeted for each year, but cannot be planned in advance due to the emergency nature. So if we have a sewer collapse, sewer rupture, or something goes wrong, and we have an emergency sewer repair, we have had DeGroat Construction and DeKaiser Construction under contract with us for many years, for as long as I've been here, and I've been here 16, to handle those emergency repairs. Now, normally, that's not a big deal. It's something we can go out and take care of, but occasionally, those repairs do exceed $25,000. And with the cost increases in construction materials, everything else, the probability of getting a single repair that exceeds $25,000 is getting more and more, especially compared to what it was 15 years ago. So because department heads are limited to a $25,000 expenditure limit without council approval, what this agenda item would do would be to allow us to exceed $25,000 on an emergency basis for a sewer repair that
Can we
by its
hold, can we hold
definition.
that thought for a second?
Sure.
The person is locked out. They wanted to get into the meeting.
Oh.
Can you open?
He's at the door.
The building's locked.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
he's at the back
weird.
I'm sorry.
The building
He must
should
be at the
locked.
wrong
Which door?
Oh,
door.
maybe he's at the wrong building.
Which
Sorry.
door?
This is more
Sorry.
work than it's worth. Can you give me?
Sure.
Can we take a? I'm sorry.
Bet you we didn't have many sewer
I've been at
breaks this year
recess.
neither, huh? Because of the frost?
Like, anyway.
We didn't have many sewer breaks this year because of the frost neither then, huh?
We usually don't get sewer breaks due to the frost, that's usually water main.
Hi, Jim. Go to the back door. Not, you're probably at the wrong door. Go around the back of the building. Somebody's
Yep,
coming down. to
somebody's
open it.
coming down either
Someone's
way,
coming
so.
down. All right. See you. See you. in
Oh,
a bit.
she's fast.
Yeah, I know.
But- Okay. Continue, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the probability of having an individual repair that exceeds a $25,000 threshold is greater now than it has been. So what we're asking for is pre-approval. It would have to be an emergency situation, but allowing us to get the emergency repairs taken care of and get service reinstated as soon as possible.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Heck, second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 That passes unanimously. Okay, number 5. Let's see here. I don't know if he's ready yet. Why don't we just take one more item and then we can...
The next one's gonna be
A long one?
So
All right.
maybe not. Okay.
Hello, Jim.
Mark,
Motion to reconsider the agenda
Yes, motion, so
and move on to number 1, or
move on to
go back.
number 1 by
Back.
Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Jim, it's been fun. You're up. So I'll just, give me a second here. I just gotta read it off. Consideration with possible action on request by Alder Stoyer on behalf of Chung Cha and James Wirch to rescind the charge of $85.60 for snow and ice removal at their property at 1771 Nancy Avenue. We'll open the floor in a second, but James called me some time ago, a few weeks ago, and when we had that snowstorm on, I believe, January 10th, we had, I don't know how many inches we had, it was pretty significant. He lives in a house, as their neighbor does, with a sidewalk in front. There's no sidewalk on either side of them all the way down the road. On the other side of the street where I live, we also have an area where we have 2 houses with sidewalk, no sidewalk the rest of the block. So he shoveled his, snow plowed his driveway, but not the sidewalk. And the sidewalk, it's the responsibility of the person that lives there to do the sidewalk. His contention was, and I realize it's ordinance and all that, you're supposed to do that, but the fact is that if you plow, the city came and plowed the sidewalk and charged him for that. Now, if you walk on that sidewalk, if you go one house this way or one house that way, the snow is yay deep. So there's no way you're gonna walk on the grass. You'd have to walk out in the street anyhow. So I think it's a good topic for discussion, because I know there's other areas in the city that have that issue as well, and it's never come up before with me, but I told James that I would put this in on his behalf, and I don't know if we could have director, if you want to chime in, otherwise we could open the floor. So it's up to you.
Well, especially with snow being on the ground, we would have no way to know whether or not there was sidewalk on either side. This was upon a complaint. Complaint was received on the 13th of January. We went out on the 23rd, and
Is that 23rd? I thought the snow was like the 10th.
may I make a correction on this?
Yeah, we'll open the floor in a second. Just hold on.
included in your packet, we have the slip from Ryan Lewis, who was on site, work date dated 1/23/24.
Okay.
So the complaint was received on the 13th by web, email, and we responded on
So it's
1/23.
10 days. Okay.
So what's on the screen is when staff responded to the site, we take a picture of the house to verify we have the correct address. We take a wider angle view. That is what it looked like before we did the work, and that is what it looked like after we did the work. And you can see the darker staining here is the salt that was dropped by the sidewalk unit that did the clearing.
It says the complaint date was the 13th and the work was on the 23rd.
Correct, and ordinance provides that it has to be done within 24 hours after the end of the snowfall event.
And just an FYI, that may or may not make a difference, but David Street is, or David Avenue, but David is
David
just
Street.
two houses over, and there's sidewalk on David, it comes around the corner, the sidewalk continues for 2 houses and then ends. So it's not an isolated sidewalk, but it's a sidewalk that ends.
Discontinued.
Discontinued after the second house off the corner.
Okay.
So again, this is not a citation, it's not
Right.
a
it's
penalty, it's a fee for service performed, and staff did perform the service. What we would suggest is for future, if there are areas with discontinuous sidewalk where somebody cannot, a pedestrian could not reasonably expect to travel on the sidewalk, that the alder make a request for exemption to the need for snow removal on the sidewalk, and we can document those areas, and then if we get a complaint on it, we can identify that because there's not continuous sidewalk the entire length of the block, there's no ability for pedestrians to walk there, and snow removal during the winter is not necessary, or the alder could petition to have the gaps in the sidewalk network removed and have sidewalk installed to make it a continuous sidewalk.
Okay.
But that, those,
So that-
those would be separate
Yeah,
communications.
it's separate, and I understand where you're coming from, but it's a kind of a combo of common sense, but also the ordinance, et cetera. So what do you want to hear? Go ahead,
Motion to
Alder. You had
open the
something?
floor? Oh,
I was just
Yeah.
looking at the overhead, thank you, Mr. Chairman, of the overhead here, so you'd come up David and turn on Nancy. And if you kept going on the sidewalk, you would basically just walk into grass.
You'd walk into us.
grass,
And it
yeah.
wouldn't be
in
shoveled.
grass, it wouldn't be shoveled.
Okay. And then I have utilized the, on Ernst, right? There's 3-4 houses who have sidewalks and nobody else on the street has sidewalks, so they petition, or they don't shovel because you don't go anywhere.
So
That was
I,
just last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Yep.
now is that ignorance on my part? You know, I mean,
That was a different street.
As the alder, you know, it's never come up before.
Correct.
And I wasn't
I've never had to
aware
deal
either
with
until
it.
That was petitioned, I didn't know what it was.
So I'm just looking at a new situation and I'm not saying that it hasn't happened before. Like I said, across the street, further down Nancy, there's 2 houses that have sidewalk, nothing on either side. But again, you say it's complaint driven.
Correct. And
That's the problem.
the discontinuity in the sidewalk network is a function of how the zoning ordinance, or subdivision ordinance was at the time that the lots were developed. So we find that across the city where there are spots.
I mean, you could have a map, it'd be nice to see, I'd like, almost like, I love maps. I'd like to see a map where they have all these isolated,
Something to do in your retirement, Mark.
yeah, well, maybe. All right, well, listen, why don't we make a motion to open the floor?
Make a motion to open the floor.
Okay, Eck, seconded by
Second.
Weary. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
James, come
Yes,
forward.
this gentleman is correct, so it's
Well,
not...
come up here and state your name and address for the record. and-
Okay, sure. James Wirch, W-I-R-C-H, and the address is 1771 Nancy Avenue, Green Bay.
Okay. So, you've heard
Sure.
from the directors, what they stated, and that it is complaint, a lot of times, there's things that happen, and if it's complaint driven, that makes it more difficult, on not just that issue, but other, lawn grass, garbage cans out in the wrong area, that type of thing. So we have to deal with quite a bit of that.
Sure.
So if you would, just tell the committee kind of they mentioned it was 10 days too, a 10-day gap. I didn't realize it was that long, but just give me your story.
Well, first,
Or us.
it was mentioned that there was a complaint. I would guess, I don't know, you can check this, my guess is the complaint was the neighbors, the people that are on the corner of David and Nancy. They've been evicted, they were just evicted a week ago.
Oh.
To give you an idea, they had just a mess in their yard, but anyway, they were renters. So I would guess that the complaint was for 1779. I'm at 1771. I don't know that because I didn't see the complaint, but my guess is because the gentleman who cleaned the the sidewalk, he was just finishing up when I drove home, and he said we had a complaint for that sidewalk over there. He points to the neighbors. So that's why they were there, and then he said, I looked on Google Maps, I saw that there was a sidewalk here, I called my supervisor, he said to plow it, and I told him, I said, I understand, not your fault. So, so I don't think there's a complaint against me. I don't know that. I would ask if you could check, is the complaint for 1779, that's the neighbors, that's not my lot. So, as this gentleman said, it's not an isolated sidewalk. From David, you come around the corner and the sidewalk gets to my driveway, and it does go across my lot and it stops. And in the winter, I would say 100% of the time, as people walk on the sidewalk, when they get to my driveway, they don't go on my sidewalk, they go out in the street because they can see it ends down there. Even in the summer, when there's no snow, I watch people and they'll go from the sidewalk onto the street because they see it ends. And so if I shovel it, and people walk down there, they're gonna get to the end and have to turn around and come back. So in my opinion, it's not a sidewalk, it's just a piece of cement. So that's it, I just thought it, if it's, if I have to shovel it, then every time it snows, next year, I'll have to shovel it and no one's gonna walk on it. Yeah, because it doesn't go anywhere. It's a sidewalk to nowhere, so. And the second thing is, I thought they did a little bit of damage to the lawn, too. The snow blower, or whatever it was wider than the sidewalk, so there's some big gaps along the side, along the cement. And at the end where the sidewalk ends, the person went maybe 5 feet past there and dug up the grass.
On your yard?
On my yard, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Override?
In the past, have you shoveled that
No.
sidewalk? No, okay.
Yeah, maybe I did once in a while years ago, but I did not shovel it. That's correct.
Okay.
And I've been there for over 40 years, and no one's ever walked by and complained about it.
So the one that you think they complained about is a continuous sidewalk, or what would be the reason why they'd complain on that one versus?
Because the people never bothered to shovel.
On the corner.
They had a kid living upstairs who would throw garbage out on the lawn. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd see 7 or 8 cans of Coke on the lawn. The lady would leave it there for a day or two. They'd put their garbage out. Our garbage is picked up Monday morning. Sometimes they had their bin out on Thursday, and I understand it's supposed to be closed. Things open like that, just piled up, and then they got 2 or 3 bags next to it.
So,
They're just, the owner evicted them
so
a
somebody.
week ago.
I guess, can I interject? I mean, was the complaint against that house or 1779?
I don't have a copy of the complaint, what I have is a copy of our. Oh, no.
Is that,
Yeah, it started off with a complaint at 1779, and then it was noticed that 1771
a neighbor.
also did not have the sidewalk.
And also,
So-
just, I'd like
Yep.
to add, on our enforcement policy, if you will, like we all know, it's complaint driven. DPW does not go out looking for these.
no, I
However,
understand.
if house number 1, is the complaint, and we go out and we see house number 2 has unshoveled sidewalks, we don't just put our blinders on and say, okay, we need to treat consistently. So we're gonna do the next door neighbors too.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that, if it was for the house on the corner, I'm guessing that's why the operator called in and said, hey, the house next door doesn't have a shovel either.
That's what he told me.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
like-
Well, I've seen James' house, I live only 3 houses away from James, and his house is always kept up very well, and there's no, anyway.
Yeah, I just wanted to explain that.
Okay, I
That's
appreciate that.
probably
Sure.
why, like you said.
And again,
Just related to enforcement
Okay,
activities.
hold on, do we have James, do you have anything else to add?
No, I understand, there's rules, and so I accept that, I understand that. So it just seems to me, it seems kind of silly for me to shovel it when it doesn't go anywhere. So,
Well, I appreciate you coming in.
yeah.
Motion? Anybody else, otherwise a motion to close?
I just got a couple questions. I've never seen salt put down on a sidewalk though when it wasn't done. I just haven't seen it. I have several in my neighborhood that I reported that were businesses, not that, but when you see a whole bunch of footprints, then I had people come and
Do you have any
thank me
do you have any
for it.
questions
But
for?
I understand, and I'd make a motion to rescind the
Well,
charge.
We have
Well,
to.
we gotta close the floor.
I'm
Motion
sorry.
to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor by Beck. Do we have a second? Second by Weary. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Committee, go ahead.
You can sit down.
You can
All right.
sit, yeah,
Thank
you
you.
can
Should I
sit down.
leave too, or?
No.
You
No,
can wait
you
for
didn't do anything
you
wrong.
can wait for a recommendation.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of circumstances here. I don't like the fact that it's complaint-driven. I think there's a lot of room that I think it was mistakenly done. I get it, it was by staff and they were only trying to do their job, but especially if you continue to do one and then the other, that even pushes it even harder for me. So unless anyone else wants to make a motion, I'd make a motion to rescind the charge.
Second?
By Campbell, we have a second by Weary. Any other discussion?
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to, and this is no reflection on you guys, you did your job perfectly, right? I mean, and the
Yeah.
worker out there probably didn't even know it, that it stopped, you know, he probably thought it went around the corner, so there's nothing to
Yes.
reflect on that at all, but I think it is pretty ridiculous. If anybody walking would have to go up and then come right back. I would put in a request after this, either you do it or you help.
Yeah, we'll.
For the next couple of years, that you don't have to shovel it, and it'll be on your list, and then it's,
Is this something that we could do not just for this area, but for any other area in the city? I don't know, you know, that's
It's going to take a little bit of work
That's
on
gonna
behalf of the
be-
older, because what we're gonna ask for is house numbers.
Where are they?
Yep.
Correct.
I have some in my neighborhood.
So
And again, as I was starting to allude to previously, we ask that you understand where this ordinance requirement comes from. This came directly out of the accident in which Mr. Kennedy was struck and killed, and left for dead in his wheelchair. So,
but that wouldn't apply here because you,
correct.
yeah.
He's got to turn around and go
But
That
back.
is-
that is why
Yeah.
we handle sidewalks the way that we do for so
And
long.
that's
Yeah.
totally understandable.
well, you know, maybe in the future, I don't know if that's something that would come from your department or maybe an alder, maybe one of us could craft something that we could bring forward. We could look at and see if-
Well, and I know it's wildly unpopular, but the correct resolution to this is to order the sidewalk in to make it a continuous sidewalk network.
Or you can do opposite like I did.
And
Yeah,
that, well,
take it out.
The first time ever.
Please don't make me go on Taylor Street again.
Like a Suburban or Holiday, half the street had
Yeah, that
sidewalks,
was a
half didn't,
nightmare.
and they were all decrepit, and they were ordered to put new ones in, so we voted as a committee to just take them out. Now both halves don't have it, because it didn't go
And
anywhere.
that's a problem too,
And they were
or
spending hundreds of dollars to replace a sidewalk that went nowhere.
Right.
the city might come in and take 20% of it, but then you gotta pay the other 80 when they complain. It's like, well, then we don't want it, but anyway.
And I would only like to add, what would happen if this thing come to be and he wanted, who's responsible for the grass that got ripped up since it was forced?
That's on us,
I would think, yeah.
generally speaking.
So I kind of think
Well,
it's a wash.
Actually,
you
in
know.
this case, I think we would be willing to go over there and do something
Yeah.
for Mr. Wirch, but technically, it's the property owner's responsibility, because had the property owner taken care of the sidewalk, we wouldn't have been there in the first place.
It's a very unique situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yes, this is.
it's like you're right and you're right. It's, I mean, we're, you know. But I
Could be
think,
some.
I'm just looking at this as an individual case where, you know, the common sense attitude for me just came into play, and that's why we brought it forward. Go ahead.
It sounds like we have a gentlemanly agreement here that spring, go back, patch it up, flatten it
Oh,
out, put seed in.
it's more than a gentlemanly
Okay.
agreement, we'll take care of it.
Perfect.
All right, well, we voted, right? We all said aye, okay. James, it's rescinded.
Well, it goes to full council.
It goes to full council on Tuesday. If there's any issue with that, you know, it's usually just rubber stamp. However, there's always somebody that might go crazy. I don't think so. I think you'll be fine.
May I ask one,
Yeah.
may I ask one question?
Your chair?
Yeah.
Motion of the
Motion,
floor.
no, by Eck, seconded by Campbell. Okay, come on up. Wait, it's
I'm
procedure.
So it's rescinded, and just for, in the future, would you recommend that I do shovel it?
I would recommend, if you don't want to, just put in a request through Mark
Or
to
Or
never
both.
have to shovel it.
Future.
Or the new,
Because it doesn't
you could
go
have
anywhere.
a new, you could have a new alder.
Well, Mark will come over and shovel.
Yeah.
I've done that already. I've actually shoveled.
Mark's got connections for sidewalk closed, a horse to put there. He'll
Yeah.
deliver
I
it.
don't.
So just a wild and crazy thing, I always thought that if I shovel it, so many people feel they're victims. I thought, somebody's gonna walk down to the end and they see they have to turn around, they're gonna sue me because they had to walk twice down the sidewalk. So,
Listen, it's.
You're making them get more steps.
yeah,
Actually,
that's
it
right,
helps
it's good,
steps.
it's good for them, but they.
Well, I think in the future, I'll leave that up to you. You said you've lived there 40 years, you haven't had that issue before, but somebody complained, and we're always complaint-driven here.
Sure,
You know, the city's not gonna go out and look for
Right,
these.
right.
Reactive.
So you gotta understand that, but, I don't know.
understand.
Like I
you
said,
shovel
on
it?
Ernst, a few neighbors put in, hey, we're not gonna, please don't let make us shovel this, that
Do you-
goes nowhere.
Right.
And we
Now,
approved
you
it.
have a sidewalk, in a perfect world for you, the sidewalk all the way down the street, you'd like that?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's the
Or-
neighbor's yard.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that all the way down Nancy, on that side of the road. I mean, that would be the request to put sidewalk in, and then, of course, you get
You'd have to
the
shovel.
neighborhood, that's a whole nother animal.
Sure, yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. That's what
I would, I don't
that- Chat
know.
offline.
What's that? Chat offline.
Yeah, so it'll be up to you if you want that
Yeah, yeah.
request or not.
Yes,
Otherwise, you'll be gambling every year.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't want to gamble it. I'm willing to do what I need to
Well, you have
do.
a-
Just put in a request, Mark will help. Will you help
Yeah,
hold the
sure.
story?
I will.
Put in a request.
I'm
It's
not
real simple.
moving.
Official.
I'll help you.
I'm pretty healthy and.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for
Yeah,
coming
I've been around a
in,
number of
James.
years, and I'm still
Yeah.
pretty good. so-
Yeah?
Appreciate you coming in.
All right,
I'll
thank
see you
you
in the
very much.
neighborhood.
Yeah, thank you.
And I did want to mention to you that we have a new neighborhood association, James, that's gone in. It's called Murphy Park, and we had our first meeting last week. This is an issue that we can talk about at our neighborhood association meetings. It's the last Monday of every month at 5:30 at Bay Baptist Church. So,
5:30, the last Monday.
Last one.
I went to Boredom.
just something to consider.
Sure.
You might want to come to the meetings.
Very good.
All right, thanks
right.
again.
Thank you
take
very
care.
much.
You take care. All right, where are we now? 5 or 6? 5, right?
5.
5, okay, let's get to that. Come on, open up. Do you have it there?
On 6, is it 5?
5.
Would you like me just to take the
Yeah, can
introduction
you,
of
just
items?
number 5, because
Take the
I,
wheel.
Well, I can take the items from here on out, so you don't have to flip back and forth.
well, no,
if that
it's
would
right
help.
there. I mean,
Just
it
just
should,
doesn't
it's not clicking.
Consideration of possible
Oh,
action
yeah.
on a request by Department of Public Works to review and approve the 2023 annual municipal separate storm sewer system, MS4 report.
Hey, Director?
Okay, we have included in your packet quite a bit of information relative to the MS4 report. As always, there is a report from staff to me that has the annual report highlights. Then we have included a copy of the annual report, the MS4 report that is submitted to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources that is in here. Tonight, we have Valerie Justin, who's the utilities manager, and Abigail Adams, who's the stormwater engineering technician that prepared the report, either of which can handle any questions that you may have.
Okay. Give us a second on this. Committee, do you have any specifics? And then we can have them speak if you'd like.
Yeah, if you have any additional, I always like to look
Why
at
don't
how
you
many,
come- why
how
don't
many
you come
rodents we
forward?
caught.
If you wouldn't mind.
It was like.
137 on the muskrat report.
I go there first.
The muskrat report is the highlight of the MS4 report.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I,
It was, but we had an older once that asked us where we released the muskrats.
Release, catch and release
We had
muskrats.
to educate the older that it was not a catch and release program.
Oh,
were they mortified? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Hats.
I don't know. if
Wallets
that
and
is-
hats.
Well, I don't know. Why don't you come forward
Yeah.
and just,
Did you
you know,
want
we
us
might
to
have a
run
question
through
or two.
the-
I don't know.
If you want to go through the highlights of the report,
Just
sure.
maybe some
Okay.
There
bullet
you go.
points, some bullet points. How about that?
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, you waited all meeting.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I mean, come on. You were very
you could
patient.
have moved it up a little.
And just for the record,
Yeah,
Is
we'll
it-
run through the
do we
highlights
need
of
the
the
address
report.
or staff, right?
No, Valerie is the utility manager, Abby is the
Okay, so
stormwater
staff,
technician.
all right,
Staff.
all right.
They live in their offices, right?
They live there. All right, yeah, just a cursory look at it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so the other thing we did a little different this year too is we posted on Facebook that we were accepting public comment. I think for about a 2-week period, that's a requirement of our permit, so that's something that's a little different this year.
Did anybody comment?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
All
yet.
right, well, it's good to hear.
But we're open
Not good
to
hear.
receiving
We didn't
comments.
post it.
So some highlights, would you want to run through any, or do you want me to run through them?
It doesn't matter to me.
They got maps
What
all
would you
over the
prefer?
house.
Do you want to run through the first half and then I'll
Sure.
do the second half?
Sure.
So-
Okay. So for some of the highlights, so the city of Green Bay has a total of 358 outfalls. This includes one newly constructed outfall. Outfalls are the point at which stormwater is discharged to waters of the state or to a storm sewer. So the stormwater technician, who was Kelly O'Malley, she completed the 14th year of the ongoing outfall field screening. This included 58 scheduled minor and major outfalls within the municipality.
Is that reflected on one of the maps here?
Yes.
Which one?
So on the major minor outfall sampling 2019 and 2024. So this includes all years of sampling between 2019 through 2023, as well as planned outfalls to be sampled before the permit end of April 30th of this year.
It's the first map after the
Yeah, I
first
can't
memo.
get,
Yeah.
I can't get the whole
Okay.
map in here, but maybe that's part of the title, maybe the title's out to the side, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
can't. Just give us
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanna know what map it is, that's all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but, yeah, so on that map, the blue symbols signify the major and minor outfalls that were sampled in 2023. So of these of the 58 sampled, there were 2 positive hits for detergent. Both of these were below the action level, which is 0.5 milligrams per liter. The stormwater technician still followed up on both of them. She was unable to locate a specific location. She was able to narrow it down, between regions. But that is something where when that, it's not able to be narrowed down to a specific location, we put those outfalls on sampling lists for subsequent years to make sure that we are inspecting them to see if there are continued discharges and positive hits.
What'd you find on that, on this outfall map that you get, it's over a 5-year period. How far back have you done this type of research? Or there's a research going all the way back till
So this was, we're in our 14th year
14?
of doing
So if there's
sampling.
any, from, let's say, 2014 up to 2019, to this 5-year period, has there been market change at all that you?
So we are within a permit term that is a 5-year permit, which runs from 2019 until April 30th, 2024. So within the larger report, I have outlined some changes in the number of hits and average parameter results from sampling from 2019 to 2024. Because this MS4 report is just within this 5-year permit term, results prior to that weren't included in the report, but
Okay.
those would be located,
Yeah, so there
in
were
previous.
15 positive hits in 2022, and there were only 2 in 2023. So for that time frame, it did improve.
Mhm.
It varies on the event, maybe, I guess, whatever
Mhm.
events are out there. Okay,
Mhm.
all right. Committee, anybody?
Oh, it's very detailed. I was reading
Yeah,
about the
it's-
indiscriminate cuckoo bumblebee. I'm not, it's there, right? I'm detailed. Wow, it's a lot of information. Yes. It's under the list of natural heritage inventory.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You gotta go to school for that. Wow, that's awesome. Continue, I'm sorry.
Yep, you're fine.
Just you can get.
So additionally, the city completed inspection of all 48 city-owned stormwater facilities, so this includes ponds, Webster Avenue swales, proprietary devices, and other devices, other facilities within the city. Included in that, we had contractors McMahon and NES conduct vegetation maintenance. This included mowing, herbicide applications, and native plantings, as well as 2 prescribed burns at Barina Creek and Juza Shoreward Ponds. Also, a survey of sediment deposition was completed for Barina Creek in 2023, and it is scheduled to be dredged in 2024.
Right.
Operations also completed another successful year of street sweeping and fall leaf collection. Estimated quantity of 4,750 tons was collected. That included 19 street sweeping rotations, 11 leaf collection rotations, which included 4 collections in the spring and 7 in the fall. There was also greenway outfall maintenance inspections conducted for the community rating system from May 11th through December 23rd of this year, or of 2023. Also, the city contracted the services of the trapper to reduce the muskrat population at 24 of the stormwater facilities. In total, 137 muskrats were trapped. And there are 2 attachments. One shows is a chart that from the contractor that shows the number trapped at each pond, and then the other one kind of just shows trends from 2015 until 2023, so that you can kind of see like the
There's some
difference.
damage done, correct?
Yeah, some damage
Some
done.
damage.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Also, the city staff participated in a 2-day conference presented by the Fox Wolf Watershed Alliance in spring of 2023, where they covered different stormwater management topics, green stormwater infrastructure, sustainability, permitting, and legislative topics. There were also other conferences attended in terms of erosion control and stormwater quality.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take a half of it. So yeah, we also have to report on our education outreach activities that we do during the year. And so we have a whole spreadsheet of all the activities we do, some of the highlights. We take students from NWTC around to the different ponds and show them how do we do the sampling. We recently attended the Aldo Leopold day at the public library.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yep, Abby was there.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways we get information out. We did a presentation at City Hall Academy with Steve and his group to highlight some of the stormwater stuff that we do. We do the No Mow May outreach. The green stormwater infrastructure are all things that count towards this. We do some annual cleanup events. There's the Beaver Dam Creek cleanup with MacArthur Heights Neighborhood Association. And then we also participate with the Northeast Wisconsin Stormwater Consortium, and so we participate in the Fox Wolf Watershed Cleanup, which is a whole region-wide activity. The Residential Rain Barrel Program is another program that's under the Stormwater Utility, and we implemented that again in 2023, and 460 rain barrels were given out. The citywide green stormwater infrastructure plan is something that counts towards our work for this. Our operations sewer section, they cleaned over 5,000 catch basins and inlets, so they're removing the sediment that collects in those.
Do they still, remember when they adopted Drain? Remember that?
Yeah.
Do they don't do that anymore? or-
We just, we're working on kind of redoing some of those programs this year, kind of refreshing them. And so we have a new brochure on the Adopt-A Inlet. And I think we'll probably do more outreach on those once we get all of those kind of looked at. So something new this year that we also worked on was that we inventoried all of our private stormwater facilities that we've approved. So that's like the private stormwater ponds, infiltration basins, permeable pavement, the things that people are required to do when they develop. So we created an inventory and we started an inspection program of them. That's another requirement of our permit. And we've completed 59 inspections in 2023. So that's continuing.
Were they in compliance?
Not all of them, but that people have been very cooperative on working on getting back into compliance. Since it's kind of a new thing, they haven't seen us before. You know, a lot of them didn't realize that they're supposed to be maintaining things, so had pretty good cooperation.
I think we had that one that we discussed, and it was a development in the parking lot, too. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
The charges.
Yeah. So, and there were over 300 inspections for erosion control. We have 2 staff that do erosion control inspections and review erosion control plans. We responded to 16 complaints of illicit discharges. So when we get a complaint, we go in and follow up and investigate those. And all of those were resolved, but sometimes it's just education. Sometimes, you know, we need operations to come and help us clean it up.
Into a street or into the waterway or?
It's a variety of things. So it could be like somebody washing their equipment from their restaurant down outside
Okay.
into a storm drain. It could be a spill, you know, where their grease overflowed and is kind of flowing in the parking lot down the street. So those types of things.
I saw a lady the other day in my district as I was campaigning, and she walked out with her pan, I'm sure, full of grease or whatever, and poured it right down the sewer.
Oh, boy.
This was like,
Okay.
Never seen that.
All right.
What's that? No.
you mean like that?
Yeah, so if we get calls
I
like
was just
that,
like-
oil, you know, oil and storm drain is one that we investigate, things like that. And it's just,
Okay.
mostly we try to provide education and also clean it up. So we take care of those things.
I also watched someone else put some dog shit down on.
Okay. All right, all right.
Not in my district.
Thank you. All right.
That would qualify.
Do you have any other questions for staff here? First, it's very comprehensive.
Very thorough.
Very.
It's hard to know all of it, and I know you guys know it all by heart, right?
Well, we put
Yeah,
it
just
together,
say,
but.
just say yes. you do.
There's a lot of people that, you know, we work with operations, we work with the Parks Department, so there's a lot of people that work in things that we put into the report.
It seems that you
Rick,
have
do you
this
have
really
anything?
handled.
The only thing that I really want to add is, if you look at my copy of the agenda
hard
packet,
copy? I remember
there,
those.
there is a singular tab. And I was anticipating
Oh.
Alder Weary's question. The one sheet that I had tabbed was the muskrat table.
Wow, that is pretty good.
He knows you
there,
well, he knows you well.
Wow.
But I knew that the muskrat table was the highlight of the report every year, so I wanted to make sure I had it
You can't.
readily available.
Instead, he looked up the bumblebee one.
Oh, he
Next
brought
year I'll
up
make
the
sure I tag
muskrat.
all
No,
the
he asked
stations
about the
as well.
Older
muskrats.
Stoyer's asking if you could eat
No,
them.
I was not asking.
If they were donated.
They just
Oh, boy.
dispose, correct?
And
Muskrats?
Yeah.
Sausages?
They are contracted to be trapped and removed, that's all I
So
know.
whatever they
Okay,
do.
that's all you want to know.
Yeah. No,
That's all I
it's
know.
East side versus west side, who won?
No.
probably east side.
No.
Listen, we're getting
Probably not.
punchy. I appreciate the efforts here.
look at that.
We just need, committee, go ahead.
No, just one question. Are there any, and if I missed it, I apologize, any call-outs or is that part of your report? Or is it just kind of here's what we did? Are there any call-outs to like here's where we need attention or is that after you see all the data you?
It's a report.
No, what the report, again, is Abby and Valerie were referring to,
Like,
this report
Largo is
documents
out of the city.
the activities that were
That's
performed in 2023
That's
as
way
a
out
part of
there.
our conditional
Okay.
permit. So what we need to do now is take and submit this to the Department of Natural Resources as part of our
Oh, I
permit.
see, okay,
Yep.
all right.
Perfect.
Well, it's great.
I think it's great.
So the action we would be looking for is to approve the report and authorize the director to submit to DNR.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
To receive it?
No.
I said- I'm
To
sorry,
approve it.
he was going over the stuff, so I
Yeah, let's
apologize.
hold on.
To report it, yes.
Okay, so we have
Or
a second by Eck. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
opposed? Thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Very
thank you.
thorough.
You don't have to leave.
If I get a little,
Oh, yeah, if you
if I have
hear
some
the rest
time,
of the
I'll
meeting.
peruse it thoroughly.
Stay
Okay.
the rest of the meeting, Steve will give you a half day tomorrow. I can't promise it, I can't
Yeah,
even remotely promise it, it might not happen.
He
But
looks
he's going to
down.
anyway.
Or would you rather have Friday?
take care.
Thank you.
All right, number 6, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award
Let me get the right other.
Parks I-24 Johnny's Park parking lot resurfacing at a staff level due to timeliness factor and schedule of upcoming Improvement and Services Committee and Common Council meetings.
So you're going to see this pop up repeatedly throughout the agenda tonight. Due to our bidding schedule, we have a lot of contracts that are going to be coming due during April. And with the meeting schedule, we would wind up with delay, especially at the beginning of the construction season. So again, any contract that we're asking for this approval authority on is something that's in the previously approved 2024 CIP, and we do have that funding in place.
Do we have the numbers in a row? I mean, it'd be nice if we could just,
Yeah,
But we
unfortunately,
have to
they're
read
not
them
all
one at a
stacked.
time.
Yeah, I don't
They aren't
see
all
that.
stacked
All right.
up, so.
As
Just
Mark
asking.
Hero would say, get her done.
yeah.
Move
All
to
right,
approve.
I'll move to approve by Weary. Do we have a second?
Get her done.
Second.
By X, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That passes unanimously. Number 7, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to enter into a professional services agreement with Mach 4 for the design of infrastructure for Arndt and Bridge Streets adjacent to the shipyard development. Director?
So we have a standard template for professional services agreement that we use with all consultants. And what we're asking for is the approval authority to enter into a contract with Mach 4 Consultants here in Green Bay. Bridge and Arndt Street come east off of Broadway and serve the north half of the shipyard development where the multifamily residential component is going to be. As part of the developer's agreement with that developer, we are required to reconstruct well, actually to extend those two streets east of Pearl. So right now, they currently end at the rail crossings at Pearl. So we have to bring those two public streets into the development so that public streets do service that. Staff, as you know, we're running very short, very lean, trying to get our own work program done. So what we're asking to do is to utilize outside consultants and execute that contract with them. Design services will be provided, the funding for these services will be provided by the TID in that district.
Okay. Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That passes unanimously. Number 8.
Now, before we get into number 8, what I am
Okay.
going to tell you is that for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14,
Yes.
they're all very similar types of requests,
Uh-huh.
each for individual pieces of equipment, but all of the equipment that's being discussed tonight was part of our equipment replacement plan that you had approved at a previous meeting. It's just now the individual bids have come back. So our equipment replacement funds that are bonded for have been bonded for, and this was in the table of equipment that we identified we were going to be replacing for 2024.
So is it received and placed in
Can I
file?
make a
No,
motion?
we have to have
We have to have
approval on that.
Can I make a motion to approve 8 through 14?
You could suspend the rules to take
Suspend the
8 through
rules.
14 with single roll call.
Okay, by Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
They're all
Thank you very much, Director, for that.
So that was suspending the rules. Now
That
we
was
need to.
suspending, correct.
now we gotta
Motion to
vote. Now we gotta
approve
vote.
8 through
You're on
14.
it. All right, all in favor of approving the said group,
8 through 14.
8 through 14. Any, approve? Am I saying that right? No.
I made a motion, now we need a second.
Now we need a second. Okay.
Second.
Act by Weary, all in favor?
Aye.
please say
Aye.
Okay, and then just for information purposes, it does look like all of the equipment that we are approving tonight was purchased off of the state procurement contract, so that, using the state contract, that's already been competitively bid for us ahead of time. So Nathan Walkendonk, the fleet manager, has gotten pretty efficient at finding the best deals on this equipment and utilizing state contracts whenever possible to both expedite the purchase of the equipment and keep the price contained.
Just saw that.
He's also become our resident scrounger and done a great job of getting the most he can on trading in or reselling equipment once we're done with it, and then taking that money, returning it back to our capital account, so it limits what we have to bond for future purchases.
He seems to have a sixth sense.
He
for
does.
this stuff.
He does.
Is that like learned or ingrained, or was he born
I think
like
it's
that?
developed over time.
Huh?
I think it's developed over time.
And
Over
before he
time,
was
not
our
over
fleet
time,
manager,
but
Correct.
over
in
time.
a previous
time.
life, he was a mechanic, so he knows about
he
the
knows.
equipment and how to
Why don't you bring him in
prolong its
sometime?
life, if you will.
Just bring him in. I like
And the
that.
remake was pretty good. I liked the Willy Wonka remake. Was that, oh, I misheard it. Nope.
He did mishear.
I thought it was
He's still on the muskrats, anyway. All right, so we're moving on, right?
We are.
Okay, number 15.
15.
Consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to award the Transit I-24 joist repair contract at a staff level and report the award at the next Improvement and Services Committee meeting.
And actually, this one, we are going to ask you to receive and place on file the request. This actually goes to Transit, Metro Transit's authority. Our staff being extremely efficient, they had the bid opening, immediately put this on our agenda, not realizing it goes to the Transit Authority, not
okay.
us.
Motion to receive and place on file.
By act, do we have a second?
Second.
I'll give it to Worry. All right, any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Thank you, good view.
Aye. All right, number 16, consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to award the pavement X24 Howard Street, South Oakland Avenue, and School Place reconstruction in Seymour Park West stormwater pond contract at a staff level and report the award at the next Improvement and Services Committee meeting.
And
Director?
again, this is similar to a previous request that due to the bidding schedule, we're just asking to allow us to award this at a staff level. These streets and this pond have been delayed 2 years already.
Everything's
So-
approved.
Motion to approve.
Okay, by act, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Number 17, consideration of possible action on the review and award of contract ramps I-24 parking ramp repairs. Yeah, when you get a second, Director, I'll let you.
Freshly printed.
Yeah, that's,
I would guess 3 hours ago.
So, we were not able to get this into
go into the,
the packet because we actually just opened the bids yesterday.
Those are wildly different.
But this is for routine parking ramp repairs on our downtown facilities. We had estimated originally that this contract would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $250,000. Berglund Construction Company has been bidding on our projects for the last several years and came in at $189,525 as the low responsible bidder, so staff recommends award to them in that amount.
real quick, it's just amazing how widely different they are. And, you know, it's.
Well, this year's program is a little different. There's a different concentration on what repair work we need done under this particular contract. We're gonna have multiple contracts for ramps this year. And this one has a little bit more architectural to it. So the contractors like Central Restoration or Restoration Systems, who do the structural repairs in our ramps, maybe don't have this level of expertise in this area, whereas a Berglund has a little bit more expertise in that area. So they're able to come in and take care of some of this work. And when we do post-tensioning repairs or slab repair, you may see this flipped where
Okay.
some of the other contractors come in with lower numbers.
So you know what the pros and cons of each group, because you've worked
Right.
with them in the past?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heck.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Do we have a second? Second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 I was just moving it over because it's right in front of Steve's
That's
desk.
fine, I'm not,
Oh, no, you only got a couple left.
I only got a couple,
Make
so
sure
make sure
you're-
you do it right.
Right.
Okay. All right, number
Sure, it's her name,
18.
so you can pronounce my name.
Consideration with possible action on a request by the Department of Public Works to award a sole source contract to Oil Gear for the rehabilitation of 2 existing Oil Gear PVK series pumps for the hydraulic rehabilitation of the Ray Nitschke Memorial Bridge, not to exceed $115,000. I tried to do
That
that
was
in one
easy to
breath.
say.
It didn't work. I
So
tried.
This is part of the ongoing upgrades to the hydraulic system on the Ray Nitschke Memorial Bridge. With this, we are going to refurbish our existing pumps rather than try to buy new because we can't get something identical to what we originally had installed in the bridge in 1998. This allows us to maintain familiarity with the system and ensure that it operates with the system that we currently have. It also results in a time savings, so we don't have to, because pumps like this, pump manufacturers don't keep these things on the shelf. When you make the order, that's when they start fabricating the pump. Here, a lot of the internal mechanisms that go into the pump, those parts are kept in stock, but a fully assembled pump is not. So if we send it in, they can take the inside workings out, refurbish them, put them back in line. 2 years ago, when we started this process, we actually bought one brand-new pump, and what we did was put the new pump into rotation, took one of the old pumps out, sent it in for refurbishment. When it comes back, now we have the ability to send another one out, take that refurbished pump and just do a rotation where we always have a spare.
Okay.
Because Oil Gear is the manufacturer of the pumps, if you go to somebody else, they don't have the correct replacement parts and you don't have any warranty along with it. So included in the packet is a request for approval of a no substitute or sole source document indicating the reasons why we are recommending going with Oil Gear.
Kind of goes with the next item too, but
All right. Motion to approve. Motion by Weary, do we have a second?
second.
Second by Eck. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously. Number 19, consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to award a design services contract for the structural rehabilitation of the ring. We already did this one?
No,
Nope.
it's just the same bridge.
Rehab of the Ray Nitschke Memorial Bridge at a staff level and report the award at the next Improvement and Services Committee meeting. Director?
Nitschke is starting to show a little bit of age.
Oh, boy.
She's over 25 years old now. So there are some structural components
She was older
that
than
need
that.
proactive maintenance work on them. We noticed that there was some normal wear and tear that does need to be addressed through routine maintenance. Our staff has enough expertise to identify that work needs to be done, but not necessarily the expertise to recommend the fix. So what we're asking for here is to engage the services of a structural consultant who specializes in bascule bridge design to get in here and give us some assistance with getting those repairs scheduled and programmed for future CIP work.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Eck, do we have a second?
Second?
By Campbell, any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that goes
You
unanimously.
might have to add the Jackie.
Consideration with possible action to approve and accept the easement for sewer purposes required for the Grove Street siphon project, Director.
So with that siphon that comes south off of Grove Street, crosses under the East River, again, what we're doing is a project that's underway right now to replace that siphon line. So the siphon operates somewhat like a trap in your sink. So the sewage level is at roughly the same height on both sides of the river, and by having the movement of water, that siphon actually draws the water through from one side to the other. Staff was able to go back, redesign some of the sewer system and eliminate the siphon. Those siphons were originally installed in the 20s. They are cast iron and they are leaking badly. We estimate several hundred thousands of dollars worth of river water is now entering. our sanitary sewer system on an annual basis, and that clean water, which otherwise wouldn't need to be treated, is going up to Green Bay Metropolitan Sewage District, and we've got to pay to have it treated. So replacing those siphons has been something that's been on our mind for several years. This was a project that was originally started under the previous utility manager, Matt Heckenleibel. It's going on right now, but we have to move that pipe slightly, so we've included both a copy of the easement agreement and a map in here showing where the new easement is. We'll be acquiring that easement from the Green Bay Area Public School District. This is on the north half of, the very north portion of the East High property, going out to St. Clair Street extended.
For $10.
Yes, it's a nominal.
Really?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Eck, seconded
Second.
by Weary. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously.
This is a report.
I think we're on the director's report.
No, it's a report of actions.
Oh, yeah.
Number 21.
Report of actions taken by the Department of Public Works. No.
And
Can you read it, Steve? Can you read it?
Sure, and again, this is our annual licensing.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of the year, so we have a lot more licenses. Sidewalk Builders, to Scott R. Widener Concrete Construction LLC, Verheyen Construction, Craftsman Concrete LLC, LDR Utility, RG Hendricks Concrete Construction, McDonald Services LLC, Carter Trucking and Excavating Incorporated, J.C. Santee Construction, Bath Concrete Flatwork LLC, and J.D. Concrete Corporation. Additionally, we have granted tree and brush trimmer licenses to A1 Tree Service Incorporated, Wolf Rats Landscaping LLC, Yesterday's Trees, R&J Tree Services, and All Wisconsin Tree Services LLC. Lastly, we have provided or issued licenses for underground sprinkler systems to Fox Valley Irrigation Incorporated, ADC Maintenance LLC, and Wolf Rats Landscaping LLC.
motion to receive and place on file?
Correct.
Nice.
Second.
By Eck, and seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously. So are we on director's report?
Yes, and I already discussed with you the only thing that I really wanted to bring up tonight, and that was relative to the salt issue that we have.
That we talked about.
So we talked about that already.
Yeah.
And the mushrats.
We're not-
What a winter.
We are not out of it yet.
Okay.
We're not out of it yet.
Uh-oh, he's making a
What?
And
prediction.
you could say you're salty about it.
Yeah,
You never know.
I am anticipating at least one late season system to come through.
we had that April storm some years back.
For 14th
That was on
on
my daughter's
birthday.
wedding day,
I
so
fell on
we
my-
talked about that,
I
yeah.
fell on
Well, last year in March, we received a 15-inch event,
Yeah.
so.
Well, it's not unusual, so
20
it's just
21
unusual to be
inches
warm,
on the
right?
14th of my birthday, 60 hours in the plow
I
truck.
was in the hospital that day. When, how much have we gotten so far this year?
I don't know, I haven't looked at an official summary from the
Ballpark?
National Weather yet.
It's
25?
probably under 30
No.
inches.
It's
I
definitely
was
under
at
30, I
25.
would guess we're probably lucky if we got 20, 24.
How much did we save on overtime?
Yeah. That's hard to, you know, that's just a, we save money on overtime.
So far.
So far,
So,
yeah.
Bad thing
Um,
with having no slow is,
So how,
I
you
just see
know,
the brush
maybe
that
this is
wasn't
a
picked
side
up.
question, but how, you know,
Beet juice.
with the people not plowing as much and that, I'm sure they're keeping busy. on other
Yes,
things.
they are.
Okay,
Motion to receive and place on file? I mean,
yep.
Yeah, second.
Do I have a second by Wery? Eck and then Wery, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Our next meeting is, when is it?
he's already put all this stuff there.
I'm ready back up.
Next improvement is March 13th,
Mark, I
2024.
forgot on back.
Do we have
To
a
approve, I mean,
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn? Do we have a second by Wery and seconded by
Keppel.
Campbell? All in favor, please say aye.
Candle.
Aye.
Campbell's got it.
I was gonna throw out one thing here. I was trying to find some history